Hey everyone, it's Riley. Thank you so much for joining me to set up April in my bullet journal. So I'll be honest, most months I feel like I come up with the monthly theme that I want to use way in advance and I just get so excited about it, I can't stop thinking about it. I film it really early in the month, and other months, like April, I just am totally stumped, and I don't know why, because I have come up with so many different bullet journal themes over the past few weeks by making all these custom journals, but I couldn't come up with one for my own April theme. So what I decided to do for my April theme was kind of combine a few things, and if you're ever just having like sort of creative block, I would really recommend trying this, just like taking a few different simple things and mashing them together. So that's what I did here. I took a recent moth theme that I did in a custom bullet journal and paired it with a recent postage stamp theme that I did, and bam, my theme for this month is a little moth on a postage stamp. So that's one of my favorite ways to come up with themes when I'm really stumped, is to take one or two simple elements, maybe three, just like combine them all together. So my last month's theme was really bright. It uses a lot of like peach and coral and colors that I am normally not drawn to, but this month I decided to come back to kind of my home color palette, nice earthy, muted tones for this moth. So if you're wanting to journal along with me, feel free to grab your supplies. You'll just need markers, some kind of black pen, gel pen, fine liner, whatever you have, and preferably a white gel pen if you have one of those. Now I want to mention one more thing before I actually start setting up April, and that is my giveaway bullet journal. So I mentioned this in January and in February and a little bit in March that I am making a bullet journal for one of you guys to win, and it's basically just a custom journal that has all of the same themes for 2022 as I'm using for 2021. So if you guys watched any of my Plan With Me videos up until now, like my January ski theme for 2021 is in that journal for 2022. My February dinosaurs theme for 2021 is there for 2022. So I hope that makes sense. I will be giving this journal away at some point during this year. I'm not really sure when, but in every Plan With Me video, I just want to kind of give you guys an update on how that journal is going. So at the end of this video, I'm going to flip through and show you guys how it's looking so far. So be sure to stick around till the end. So here's my journal that I'm using for the first half of 2021. It's an A5 dot grid journal from Archer and Olive, and their journals are just amazing quality. The paper is 160 GSM and it's stark white, so the pages are nice and thick. And yeah, just overall their products are really good. So if you want to check them out, I will have a link to their website in the description. So I'm starting off with my cover page here, and I'm making the outline of my postage stamp. So personally, I don't like to use pencil. I also don't like to go straight in with a fine liner. I prefer instead to use marker first. So that's what I'm doing. I'm using a Tombow dual tip brush pen to make the border of my postage stamp. So this brush pen was from Stationery Pal, and I'll have a link to this brush pen and others in the description. And if you use my link, you will be getting 10% off of your purchase from Stationery Pal. So now that we're done the border, let's go ahead and draw the moth. So I've done a few custom bullet journal themes lately that have involved moths and butterflies, and they've been very popular over on Instagram. I've received a lot of requests for like a little tutorial on how to draw a moth or a butterfly. So here it is. You start off by kind of drawing the body like I did in the middle, and then fully coloring in the wings with whatever color you want. I also color in the body fully with black. I guess you could do it in a different color if you wanted to. Now, aside from the moth, I am using some grid to just fill in the stamp. So I just went along all of the dotted lines and made this little grid with a really light Tombow dual tip brush pen. So going back to the moth now, like I said, I like to color in the body and a little head with black. And what I'm using for all of my black lines today are the Mr. Pen Black Multi-Liners. They're basically just like the Pigma Micron fine liners. They're really, really great quality. And I've got no complaints. Mr. Pen has been a great company. So what you do with the black is just add some large shapes that kind of match with the shape of the wings that's already there, if you know what I mean. So kind of going with the flow of the wings. I added some bumpy ones on the bottom and more of just a swoop to the top wing, if that makes sense. And you just color in everything outside of that shape with black. That's how I do it anyways, and I really like it. Then I go in with my black and add a few additional details on the orange, but I like to leave a lot of the orange and the yellow exposed. So the next part of drawing the moth is my favorite, and that's really what makes it pop in my opinion, and that is going in with white gel pen. So this white gel pen is also from Mr. Pen, and it has been a game changer for me. So I basically just make random designs, but I make sure that they match on the opposite wing. So it's like a mirror effect, if you know what I mean. So I know that if you want to make it look like a monarch or something like that, you'll want to follow a specific pattern. But for me, I just like doing totally random designs. So there's my little moth. Next, I'm making my memories page. So for my calligraphy here, I'm using an orange Shuttle Art dual tip brush pen. Again, they'll be linked in the description. And I made my nice bouncy letters, thick downstrokes, thin upstrokes, and then I went in with that same orange and just darkened up the top half of the letter by adding just a second layer of that orange. So on this page, I'm also adding a little moth, again with yellow and orange wings and a black body, and I'm going to follow the same process as I did for the moth in the postage stamp. Back to the calligraphy now, I'm taking a really light gray brush pen and adding a bit of a drop shadow that you probably can't even see on camera, but I find that it just sort of makes your letters look like they're standing off of the page. The final touch for this memories page will be to take the white gel pen again and add it to my moth, just like I did to the moth on my title page, and also to my calligraphy. So just adding a little stroke of white gel pen to all of the thick downstrokes to make it look like it's kind of glistening. So to finish off my cover page, I'm just taking a really fine tip black multiliner from Mr. Pen and outlining the entire stamp. So the next page in my monthly setup is my calendar, and I'm doing a large calendar for this month. My squares are 5 dot grid spaces wide by 6 tall, and I find that this is just a perfect measurement to give me enough space to actually write down events and tasks in certain days, but it also leaves some space along that right-hand side for me to record other things as well. So I'm putting 5 days of the week on the left page and then the other 2 on the right-hand page, and just drawing all of the outlines with the thin tip of one of my Tombow dual tip brush pens that I used earlier. Then I also use the really fine tip of these Shuttle Art dual tip brush pens to write in the dates, and I did do it alternating orange and yellow for the different days of the month, but you can hardly tell because the colors are so close when you use the fine tips. Now I'm making a heading for this, just writing out April, and I decided right in the spur of the moment to make little postage stamps. So I didn't really plan this out in advance. I didn't measure these squares. I honestly just wing it when I do this kind of thing. So I just made a bunch of little designs using my orange and my yellow, and I'm going to turn them all into little postage stamps and just write the word April going across them. So recently I posted a custom bullet journal flip through where I used only Helvetica style fonts like this, no calligraphy, and it was a huge challenge for me to do it in there, but it also inspired me to try using some Helvetica for the primary font in this setup. So instead of doing like big calligraphy headings for everything like I often would, I used this more simple, all caps printed font for a lot of the headings. So now that I'm done with my title, I'm going to fill in that right margin, and what I'm going to do first is write down my YouTube schedule. So I post videos every single Tuesday and Friday, so I'm just going to list all of the Tuesdays and Fridays in April with the space beside to write down what video is going to go live on each of those days. Then below it, I've got a little section for goals, and I'm not really sure if goals is the right word. It's more just like a major task or like something to focus on. So I like to have a major task or a goal for the month, and then for each of the weeks. So it could be something like finishing a custom journal, or maybe there's one week where I really just want to focus on filming and do all of my filming for the month in that week, or something like that. I'll just record that right here so that I have kind of a vision of what my month is going to look like. Below you can see I just used a little bit of washi tape, and now I'm going to draw a dragonfly up above, and dragonflies are just the same as like butterflies or moths, but they're honestly a lot faster to draw because the wings are so tiny, so you don't do as many intricate details with your black or your white gel pen. So I decided to do a dragonfly here, just using the same colors, the orange and the yellow that I've been using for my moths. So the final 2-page spread for this April plan with me is on the left side here, a tasks page, and then on the right side, a little monthly check-in. So this is like my dashboard for everything that I need to get done in the month of April, and I really love having a place to write all this down. So I'm making 2 boxes right now and just filling them in with some of that same grid that I used on my title page. And the top one is for weekly tasks. So things like cleaning the bathroom, doing laundry, stuff like that I want to do every week, and then I'll leave a space to check off each week if I've done those tasks, and then below it I'll write down things that I want to do every month. And I get this information from the beginning of my journal, where I made like a cleaning tracker spread in my yearly spreads, so I'll flip back to that spread and transfer over the things that I want to do this month. So aside from that, I also have a place to write down YouTube tasks, whatever videos I want to film and edit and make the voiceovers of, I'll write all of that in there. Then I've got other tasks, and at the bottom, I've left a spot for social, and this isn't really tasks, but just like a list of people that I want to try to connect with this month. So due to COVID, like many of you guys, I've had to get a little bit more creative and more intentional about connecting with people. So I just like to write down each month a list of names of people that I want to either text or meet with on FaceTime, or maybe even meet with in person if I get the chance. So that's my tasks page. It's probably one of the most useful pages that I make every month, and I refer to it all the time. Now beside it, I'm doing a little monthly check-in is what I call it. So I don't like to do a mood tracker, I don't really do a gratitude log or anything like that, but I do still like to be in touch with those kinds of things throughout the month. So I do it by making this little monthly check-in. So right now I'm just making the heading, and I'm putting it into a postage stamp. So I'm making a really irregular shaped postage stamp, and again I'll fill it in with that same grid that I used on my title page and just write sort of my opening prompt for this page, which is "This month I'm." So if you want to recreate this monthly check-in page for yourself, you can switch up the prompts if you want to. My prompts are "This month I'm enjoying," "This month I'm thankful for," and "This month I'm learning," but you can certainly switch them up to fit your lifestyle. I like to have these just for moments when I feel like I have something on my mind that I just need to get down on paper. I can write it down here, so I don't really add any sort of structure to this page. I like to leave it open in case I want to draw a picture or write a sentence or just jot a little note or something like that as the month goes on. So here we've got our title and memories page for April, then the monthly calendar with a spot to write down my YouTube posting and my goals, and finally a tasks page and my monthly check-in. So that's all for this April plan with me, but now I want to show you the custom journal that I've been working on for one of you guys as a giveaway. So here it is. It's a light gray Artist Loft journal. I really love the color of this one. So that's why I did it in this journal. I wanted to make it a journal that I personally would love to receive. So you can see all of the beginning of the year spreads match my beginning of the year spreads that I used for 2021, except for they are for 2022. So here's your January 2022 theme that I used in January 2021, a cover page, a memories page, a calendar. All of these have similar pages that I use, but a little bit more general, so that hopefully they can benefit anyone who would win this journal. So February was the dinosaurs. March, we've got these peach and coral colored whales with the stars hanging from above. And then finally, of course, we'll have April as well, which is the moth theme that I just did in my own journal. And honestly, I think I drew a better moth in this giveaway journal than I did in my own journal. So I'm kind of jealous, but here it is, cover page, memory page, calendar, and then of course the weeklies as well. And one of you will be winning this journal close to the end of 2021 so that you can use it for all of 2022. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed setting up April in my bullet journal with me, and I will see you guys in the next video.